Well, my name is Jenkins. I'm 95 years of age. I was born in 1919 here in Portsmouth, and I left school at the age of 14 and tried to join the Royal Navy. Unfortunately, I failed the eyesight test, so I went to the Merchant Navy and I served at sea for 4 years. In fact, for 4 years I did a lot of travelling. You know, 1940, that the war of the Nazis weren't going to hang up, so we went into the army. I went up to Liverpool, did a lot of training, then I served 2 years in Northern Ireland, and then I came across to Scotland where I got a job as an instructor at a training college, which was quite good. Later on, with the advent of the Normandy landings coming off, we had to do more training. They closed some of the schools down and we went back to our units, and so I went back down to Essex and trained down in Essex. Eventually I was locked up in a camp, which we all were, for 4 or 5 days until we were taken out, and I went down to New Haven where we attended a church service, which I can always remember. I then went onto a landing craft that evening. We sailed away and I landed on Gold Beach the following morning. My first job was setting up ammunition dump, which was something that was needed. And they used to come bring the ammunition ashore in ducks and things like that, and we'd set up ammunition dumps along different places. If anyone says they weren't frightened or they're telling the truth, no, you felt frightened. You weren't going to show you were frightened. You were told to do something and you did it. Same with the chap that side of you and the chap that side of you. So there we are. That's what we did. I did sneak out once and managed to see my little girl with my wife. I got home and, well, I didn't get home. She was 8 actually, so I was a bit unlucky. But I did meet her, and eventually she had a bottle of milk, which was the baby's, but I drank that because I was thirsty. It was just a brief meeting before I had to go back. I did get into a bit of trouble when I came home from England after the war in 1946. I was posted down to a place in Wiltshire, which was a German prisoner of war camp to look after German prisoners that were soon on their way back home. And it was whilst I was there that the German Lagerführer, we were out on a job, and he said, "We think we found some bombs." I said, "Well, let's go and have a look." And there were some rusty old canisters. They looked very, I don't know what they were at the time, but I do now. I said, "Well, let's fence them off. When we go back, I'll report to the commandant." And he in turn said, "Well, we'll get a police officer." He said, "Because where the bombs that were found seems to be on private land, so we better take a police officer as well." So that afternoon we went out, and the police officer, foolish man that he was, he picked one up, and it didn't explode, it just disintegrated, and everyone got splashed. And it was liquid mustard gas. I got splashed on my legs and arms, and the policeman got badly splashed on his feet. I ended up with 3 weeks in Gillingham Hospital in Dorset. That was the extent of my going through the war for all that time and coming home and ending up in hospital. To be quite honest, I missed the army life when I first came home. You miss the comradeship. That was the biggest thing you miss, the comradeship with the chaps around you. And that's why I joined the Territorial Army. I eventually became the company sergeant major of the local infantry unit, and I served in that particular one for 20 odd years before it was disbanded, and I moved over to another unit. Then I did another 2 years in the Royal Naval Reserve, what was known as the Royal Naval Auxiliary Service. I did 2 years in that, saying that if at any time a new Territorial Army regiment was formed, they'd release me to go back. And then they did. They formed the 2nd Battalion, the Wessex Regiment. They sent and asked if I would take over as a company sergeant major again to take over a new company, which I did. So I served for another 3 years. Anno Domini came up, and I retired gracefully. I think most of my life I've spent in a uniform of some kind or other. I've never been a hero, no. Those chaps are laying out there now in the military cemeteries. They're the heroes who gave their lives. I was lucky to be here still. But I like to be here because I like talking to people, and there's not many of us left, you see, to do this talking, are there?